Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. Well, hello. It is February the 27th, 2020. Now, if you didn't realize it, this is a leap year this year, so you have an extra day in February before those Ides of March hit. Now, you probably already realize this. It's taken me nearly 50 years to figure this one out, but because I used to always ask every year, is it a leap year? Is it a leap year? Is it a leap year? Do you know what the pattern is? And it's actually pretty simple. I'm surprised I didn't pick up on it a while ago. Leap years always fall in the same year that we, in the United States, go to the polls to elect a president. So every presidential election year is a leap year, right? I didn't realize that. You probably did. But anyway, pretty slow when it comes to certain things like leap years, I guess. Now, I am smart enough to, when I read people's comments that people have put up over the past year that I've been putting these videos up, that the majority of people that listen to my videos and actually take the time to comment on them don't particularly care at all what I have to say. And downright actually loathe what I have to say a lot of times, I remember one time I put up a video talking about the oneness of humanity or something like that, love, how we were going to love one another in the future and be like brothers and stuff. And this person's comment was, "You suck." So that's what they thought about that, And it doesn't bother me, when people put those comments up, because when you talk about the masters of wisdom, right? It touches a nerve on people, with people, and it's smacking into the face of their dogma and their own beliefs about life and religion and spirituality and God and everything. And people take that pretty seriously. So I understand why they get upset about it. But also, it's the age-old process of knowledge from esoteric, or that which is hidden, to becoming more known. And there's always a friction between that exchange of knowledge, so to speak. So, hundreds of years ago, when people were talk about this stuff, they would get burned at the stake probably, so I can handle a few bad comments. I don't know if I can handle 800 degrees of flames underneath my feet. That might be a little tough, so we are making progress as a whole, for the most part. But this person, Poonam Kumar, thanked me for putting these videos up, and I wanted to thank this person back for thanking me for it. So maybe my mom put up a fake YouTube account and commented. I don't know. I'm just kidding. No. But thank you very much for appreciating me putting up these videos. That does, that means a lot. Now, this other person commented about Maitreya being the Antichrist. And that's, of course, the most popular comment that I get when I can tell somebody didn't like what I have to say. Maitreya's the Antichrist, and I get it. I understand where they're coming from. Now, the funny thing is that when people think Maitreya is the Antichrist, it's a lot like UFOs, right? And people thinking UFOs are here to take us over, right? It's really just fear. And it's unwarranted and unjustified. And I think in the future, people will look back and go, why were we so scared about this stuff? But anyway, now, I always go with, when I'm trying to figure out if somebody's telling me the truth, right? Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. It's like the magicians, you don't watch the hand that's moving, you watch the hand that's still, and that can kind of tell you where the trick is, right? Or how they're doing the trick. And it's the same kind of thing with UFOs, for instance, right? The big fear, of course, with UFOs is that they're here to take us over. It's subsiding, I think, to some degree, but for the most part, it's still there. I heard somebody the other day at work talk about it. Oh, aliens are here to take us over, or whatever. Anyway, and even before I knew anything about Benjamin Creme, who kind of said it the same kind of way that I did. I said the same thing back in the 80s and stuff. It was like, well, they have the technology to take us over, right? Oh, yeah. Well, why haven't they done it already? If they're here now and you believe that they're here flying in our skies, then why haven't they taken us over? That's the million-dollar question, right? So to me, it's just an unwarranted fear. It might be that they're not here to take us over at all, really. And then you look at somebody like Maitreya. Now, people think that he's the Antichrist. Why would an Antichrist figure be on TV speaking in a way to not be recognized? Does that make any sense? So if the Antichrist was here to fool billions of people and mislead, that many people and so forth, Why would he be speaking on TV in order to not be recognized? And so people wouldn't even know who he was. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Wouldn't he be sensationalizing everything about himself to gain more power, to do that, right? Now, I've met Maitreya many times. I know who he is. I believe wholeheartedly that he is the one awaited by all the world's religions. But, that's my personal take on it, right? Now, the Antichrist has already come and gone, and it's an energy, but it manifested through the Axis powers of World War, One and World War II mainly, So if you want to know who all these people who kind of scour the internet trying to find who the Antichrist is, and I know people you've got a half a dozen or more suspects, so who they think the Antichrist might be, right? They're really wasting their time, because all they have to do is dust off the old Encyclopedia Britannica, that they have in the back of their closet, and go looking under the H's, and and look under Hitler, and they'll find that's really who the Antichrist was. And in time, people will realize that fear of Maitreya being the Antichrist is not really warranted. But it'll take some of us longer than others, I guess. But so, like I said, just watch what they, listen to what they. Well, watch what they do, not listen to what they say, is what I'm trying to say. And Maitreya's always been in incognito, always been kind of quiet about things, and just kind of comes like a thief in the night in an hour when you least expect it, really, and I saw this video. Share International got their hands on this video. Wow, it was either right before or right after Iraq, the United States attacked Iraq. So was that 2003, maybe 2002? I can't remember exactly when we went in. I think it was 2003 we went into Iraq, right? And there was 100,000 or so people marching against the Blair administration for backing George W. Bush attack on Iraq, and there was 100,000 or more. Right? It was huge, right? The audience was massive, and somebody just, I don't know, they were just filming people, and they're filming the march, and they happened to film Maitreya, and Maitreya appeared as an Afro-Caribbean man. And if you watch my videos, the outgoing sequence with the music, there's a picture of the back of his head. But what he said and how he said it, there was no mistaking in my mind that it was Maitreya. But out of the hundreds of thousands of people at that march, how many of those people knew Maitreya was there, or even recognized Maitreya as being Maitreya? Probably zero, right? Or maybe one person, because that's how they got a hold of the video, but it wasn't very many people, right? So why would Maitreya be any different on TV, speaking in the way that he's been speaking? So that's the reason why I think that people haven't really seen him, and I could say I understand people's view that Maitreya is a figment of Benjamin Creme's imagination, or maybe even my imagination, more than I could that he's the Antichrist, because an Antichrist figure would not be on TV speaking in a way to not be recognized. Just wouldn't be. You look at Hitler, he was the one that was thumping pounding the podium, with these elaborate speeches and stuff to charge people up, to fool them, and on so forth. And that's what he was doing, and anyway, so, that's my kind of view on that whole thing, and I think that in time people will realize that their fear is unwarranted about Maitreya, but he never comes and sensationalizes anything, very quiet, very simple. But, when you feel the power of his words and feel the love of his words, you'll understand what I'm talking about. When you're like, whoa, I never thought it was like that. I kept hearing Gary Willing talk about that, but, he's right. And so we'll see. And I also am convinced that, when we do all know who he is, that the vast majority of us are going to go, yeah, I've seen him on TV at least a couple times, maybe others more than, that, right? But yeah, I've seen him on TV, I didn't, no clue that was him, and I think that's how it's going to go down, really. So we'll see if that's true or not. Now, the other comment I wanted to talk about was a gentleman. His name is Robert Workman, and he's commented a few times on my videos. And I don't know this person, but I will tell you this: my impression of him is that he's a kind-hearted man with, and a very just his heart's in the right place. Now he and I don't agree, on Trump and all that kind of stuff, but that's okay. We can all agree to disagree on things. And he's commented several times that he's concerned about me posting things about Trump. And this YouTube channel I have is not about Trump bashing. It's just one of the perks. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's funny, it's actually ironic. The question that he said is, hint, you have 140 viewers, but only 37 views. Could it be every time you hit on Trump, you lose viewers? The irony of that statement, and I would never in a million years have believed it had I not seen it with my own eyes. But right before the Senate trial in January, I put up a video, and it was entitled something like "My Crazy Off-the-Wall Theory About the Trump Impeachment." And I had a very hard time uploading that video to YouTube. It kept kicking it back out. It was really weird. But when I finally got it up, I went and I checked some of my other videos and where they're showing up on the search engine on YouTube. And so I would look at hashtag Maitreya, right, or hashtag Benjamin Creme to see if my videos are showing up in the rankings somewhere, right? Well, typically on a given day, my videos would show up in the top 10-ish some kind of way. Well, as soon as I put that video up, within an hour or two, every single one of my videos under every single one of my hashtags disappeared. They were not anywhere in the search engines at all. And it's called ghost banning, and I did some research on it, and I was trying to figure out why that happened, because I don't spam, I don't, do things that are out of line with YouTube's policies or anything like that. So I didn't know why it would ghost ban me like that, because usually that's for people that spam a lot of channels and stuff. They'll ghost ban your channel kind of thing. And I of course don't spam anybody. Anyway, after a day, I realized, for one, that video is not true, because it was just a crazy theory and it wasn't playing out like that. So I just deleted it. And then two, I just wanted to see if it would affect the way that my videos were showing up on YouTube. As soon as I took it down, within an hour or two, my videos started showing back up in the searches. So there might be some truth to what this Mr. Workman is saying. Now I had a Maitreya experience. It's funny, talking about views and viewers and all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to go into it too much, but when I did some radio interviews back in the 90s, I was trying to keep tally of how many calls I made versus how many interviews I did. And the Maitreya kept giving me this thought to not worry about that, just to let it go. And I ignored it. And he eventually made this, the way I was keeping tabs on it were these push pins with flags, and he made the pins disappear. And then it reappeared later on that night. And he did it as a lesson to me to not worry about the results. So I don't really care about the results of my channel. I want to put this information out there and speak in a way that people will either understand it or believe it or not. It doesn't really matter if they come back or not. It's just, that's the way that's the way I'm trying to present this information. So I'm not trying to gain a bunch of viewers and a bunch of views. It's just, my side of this story. Now, in terms of my view on Trump, like I said, I don't agree with his policies. I don't agree with the way that he is and he acts. I think he's abusive. I think he acts like a tyrant. If people don't like what I have to say about that, then they're probably more turned off by me even talking about Maitreya than Trump, but whatever. Now, he also says that, the problem is if I'm wrong about Trump, then people might think I'm wrong about the masters and so forth. And I just, whether that's true or not, I guess it remains to be seen. I don't really concern myself with that because I'm so small potatoes anyway. I don't think it's really going to matter either way. Maitreya loves Donald Trump just as much as he loves me, Robert Workman, the Master Jesus, Mother Teresa. I mean, it doesn't matter, and does Maitreya agree with everything that I say on this channel? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? But he still loves me the same way, right? He told me, he goes, I never judge anyone on whether they're good or bad. I only notice the good things that they do. So that applies to Donald Trump too. Do I think that Donald Trump's policies are in line with what Maitreya sees as the best things for humanity? No. But I don't think that all of Barack Obama's policies were in line with what the best, for, what Maitreya thought would be the best for humanity. Because we're still not sharing the world's resources yet. So it didn't matter whether there's a Democrat in office or a Republican in office. And that's the whole point. We have to make the stand as a people to bring about these changes. We can't wait on the governments to do it. They're never going to do these things. The government's never going to step up and save the environment. We as a people have to do that. So my problem with Donald Trump is he thinks he's above the law and he acts like it. Now, I do think that if we look at a lot of the lawmakers in Washington, including a lot of the presidents, they probably all think they're above the law. And that's why I think they all should go, to be honest with you. It's not just Donald Trump. He's not the problem. He's the symptom of the problem. And time is running out. We don't have a lot of time. We need leadership in Washington that has the people's best interest at heart. And I don't think that he does. I don't think he ever has. But that's just my opinion of it, right? And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again, but that's just why I think that. Now, I've made mention of this many times that politically, when I talk about politics, that it's my view. I'm not speaking for Maitreya, but I'm sure if you ask Maitreya what his thoughts were about Donald Trump, he would be just as loving and caring about him as he is about you or me or anybody else, so, but if you asked him, hey, do you agree with everything he said? He'd probably say no, so I don't know what he would say. I can't speak for Maitreya, but so that's, but anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to turn people off by talking about Donald Trump, but at the same time, I think it's my civic duty to speak out against my president when I don't agree with him, and time will tell if I'm right about Donald Trump or not, I guess, but it's really not about that, for me. But I hope this helps to some degree, and I hope that everybody has a great day and enjoy that extra day of February before it turns into March. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Remember to take action and help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos.